thing. Everything was fun. I can't do words.
Oh man, did you draw blood on your last ever one?
I did.
I was about to say, how does it feel to have finished your manicure and...
Ouchie.
I'm kind of wondering how this week is gonna feel, because it feels like there's gonna be a lot of these little, oh, this is the last one of these. Is this the last
one, or is it not? Or like, because if they say it's gonna be a Thursday collection,
then you'll need another one
tomorrow will be the, yeah, this is, it's gonna be a lot of like, oh, is it?
But then there will be a lot of last ones.
Yeah. I'm not going to cry when it ends.
No, I'm going to miss it.
No. I'm really pleased that so far I've done well at just not thinking ahead and just being at whatever stage we're at and focusing on that. But now we've moved on to a stage that I'm actually a bit like more nervous of.
What is it you're nervous about?
Massive needle going in my bits. Really? You know the feeling.
Quite difficult to argue with that, really.
Like, you've had it done. It's not pleasant. Ow.
Have you bruised more as it's gone on?
I don't have many bruises, but the bruises that I do have are spectacular.
That is the last buserelin, though.
Hello. I'm gonna have a needle in my bits. I don't want a needle in my bits. It's fine. I'm a big girl, I can do this.
It will be fine.
Wednesday is conception day.
Yes. And it's a little bit weird that we will both be in separate rooms when our baby is conceived. So after, what, 3 weeks of various different injections? 4 weeks of various different injections. We are down to our very last one, which is the, like, last minute super boost, extra strength.
Ovulateness.
Yeah. We've got the egg collection in 2 days' time. It's Monday night now. Wednesday morning we're having the egg collection, and we've been given a very specific time to give this injection, which is 8:30 Monday night for an 8:30 Wednesday morning collection. And this is it. This is the final one. This is a tough one because it's come straight out of the fridge, and coming from the fridge, things always sting a bit more.
Ah. Actually not too bad. It was to start with. Oh, it's so much better than I thought it was gonna. I thought I was gonna be really. I thought this one was gonna take ages because I was gonna do a bit and a bit. It's all good.
So we now have nothing left to do.
No more injections. No more anything.
It's all down to the doctors now. They just have to do their bit, and the technicians in the lab have to do their bit. And so we should explain to you quickly the difference between the procedure that we're having and traditional IVF. And to do that, we're going to need a few things. Okay, this didn't quite work how I intended it to work, but this will serve our purpose perfectly. So this is a quick layman's guide to the difference between IVF and ICSI. So what you have is a petri dish, represented by this tray, with an egg in it, represented by the strange blob of jelly. And to that petri dish, you introduce the sperm, represented here by the baking beads. With traditional IVF, you take your petri dish with your egg in it, you take your sperm, you add them to the dish, and you move it around a bit and see if anything sticks. ICSI, on the other hand, is much more precise because you're taking your petri dish with your egg in it and you're adding just a single sperm, and using a really fine needle, you put that sperm exactly where you want it to go. ICSI is the form of fertilisation that is most commonly used for people with cystic fibrosis because the quality of the sperm is not usually as good as it could be. What ICSI doesn't do is guarantee you a fertilised egg. All it does is introduce the sperm to the egg so that you know they've come into contact with each other. You're not just hoping that one sperm fertilises the egg inside the petri dish. Good morning, it's about 7:30 on Wednesday. We are in a freezing cold car waiting for it to warm up, and we are heading in to Care Northampton to get your eggs collected.
Yeah! Today, our baby might be made.
The thing I'm finding most stressful about it at the moment is just that I don't know if I'm going to need my procedure done again. Until we know that, I don't think I'm going to properly settle down.
I feel quite skanky at the minute. I've had to wash, but not with any product, and I'm not allowed to have deodorant or makeup or anything like that on. So I feel a bit trampy, but it's all for good reasons.
You don't look trampy, it's fine.
I might end up smelling trampy. So we're just out of the clinic, and it was good. We got, I don't know how many did we get?
14.
We got 14 eggs, which was fine. I'm really sore. It hurts a lot, but it's okay. And Ollie didn't need to have his thing. Everything was fine. I can't do words. Hey everyone, it's the day after egg collection, and yesterday afternoon I was really sore and in an awful lot of pain, and could barely move. So today has been definitely better than that. We got 14 eggs from me yesterday, which was really cool, and 13 of them were mature, which was fab. So we went to bed feeling really quite hopeful and really excited last night, which was great. They told us that Ollie's sperm had thawed quite nicely, which was cool. The clinic called, and only one of the 13 eggs fertilised. Today's been really emotional, and I spent quite a lot of the morning and the early part of the afternoon just randomly crying, which was not really fun. I feel like there's quite a lot of pressure on me now to be a good incubator and to kind of get the embryo implanted, and to get it to develop enough so that it does become a pregnancy. But at the same time, I'm aware there's not really a whole heap I can do about that. I'm aware I sound really low, and I'm not. I am really hopeful, and I am really positive, and I am excited, but at the same time I'm just really wary, and I'm kind of hedging my emotions a little bit, because I'm quite nervous and I'm a bit scared at the same time. So we spent yesterday, certainly the morning, quite low, and still hopeful, still positive, but at the same time just it wasn't going to plan, and it wasn't quite, like, it wasn't as good as the embryologist was hoping for, it wasn't as good as anyone was hoping for. But this morning we've woken up and we're quite, like, positive and excited, and we can do this. Like, we've got as much chance as anyone else.
The important thing for us, I think, is the fact that actually they were only ever going to put the one back in, and it would have been lovely to have had some spares. It would have been lovely to freeze some. It would have been lovely to have a choice of potentially viable embryos. But actually it was only ever one that was going to go back in, and we only need one to work.
Yeah.
And we've also been really overwhelmed by the amount of love and support that people have shown. These vlogs have given us access to not just our friends and our family, but also a much wider circle of people who are all rooting for us and who all care and who are all invested in the results of this. And it's just been really lovely to feel that support.
Yeah, it really has.
We're here for the embryo transfer, and
no one here.
The ward is empty. It's just us. I think we might have to
do it
find it ourselves. We'll just go look in the freezer.
What's an embryo?
We can find. So after all the waiting around and there being no one in the clinic, we did finally get into the room where they put our little blob.
The room where the magic happens.
Back in. Yeah. They took this one viable embryo that they'd managed to create and put it back, and it was kind of a magical moment, actually, wasn't it? While they're putting the kind of catheter that has the embryo in it in the right place, they're also doing an abdominal ultrasound, so you can see on the screen what they're doing the whole time. And when they inject the embryo itself, it's kind of contained in fluid to help it transport, and so you see this little kind of sparkle of liquid as it goes in, and it is
a sparkle is a really good way, like, it's how they described it to us, and it's the perfect way to do it. It is like this tiny blink and you miss it sparkle, and it's kind of cool. These are little pessaries now that I need to do every 8 hours, so that will continue either until we get a pregnancy test that shows we're not pregnant, or until 12 weeks of pregnancy. So the alarms are set on the phone and going off, and yeah, so that's the only kind of intervention that's happening now. The rest of it's just up to me trying to provide the best environment for it to grow.
So next week we will be sharing a little bit of our story of how we came to be as a couple, because obviously there's nothing really going on next week. That's going to be, the next 2 weeks are us just waiting until we're allowed to do a pregnancy test, and we're told that that process is incredibly tortuous and feels like an absolute age. So we'll also be trying to find things to occupy ourselves with, keep ourselves busy, and maybe entertain you in the process as well.
And if anyone is local to us and wants a cup of tea or to hang out, let me know, because I'm gonna be, like, needing entertaining.